Good morning, good afternoon, whatever anybody's watching this. I'm Judy Dodge, your host for Coffee with the Commissioners. And today I have an exciting half hour. We're going to talk all about Dayton Live. And the first person I want to introduce is Gabriel Van Haas. Is that correct? I apologize because you are from the wonderful country of Australia.
Yes, indeed. It's great to be here.
I know. And Gabriel is the president and CEO of Dayton Live. And also we have today Chloe Johnson, and you're the manager of social media and public relations. You're the longer title here, so you have to really pay attention to her. She tells you what to do.
Oh, we're all going to work for Chloe one day.
All right. Well, good. Let's start at the beginning. Gabriel, why don't you give us a minute or two, a little bit about your background and how you got in here in the wonderful community of Dayton and Montgomery County.
So as you already mentioned, I'm from Australia. I'm from Sydney, Australia, and I have been in arts management for many years. And years ago, in 2011, I decided that I was going to move to London. And I lived in London for 5 years, and I ran an orchestra called the Academy of St. Martin-in-the-Fields. Mm-hmm. And then after 5 years there, I found myself in New Jersey, running the New Jersey Symphony. Mm-hmm. And I was in New Jersey for 8 years, and then Dayton called. And for anyone who knows me, I love Broadway, I love theater, I love creating opportunities for the arts and community. And I recognize that this was such an extraordinary organization. Our facilities are amazing. We have incredible resident companies, and the arts thrive here. And I found myself coming here last year, and it's been just a treat. And it's just an incredible community, as you said, and it's wonderful.
Oh, good. Well, we couldn't be more pleased to have you here. Now, Chloe, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so I recently joined Dayton Live about 7 months ago. Like, he started a month before I did, really. So I always had a love for the arts, and when I was growing up, I used to go to the Nutcracker when I was at the Victoria Theater. I went to the Discovery Series shows as a student, getting on the yellow school bus, getting off and going into the Victoria, being in awe. And then when I was a teen, I actually was a teen usher, part of the Dayton Live program, to introduce young people to the arts in a way of volunteering. So I've always had an affinity for Dayton Live, and when I saw the job opening to be the manager of social media and public relations, I was like, I have to apply. Like, this is my mission to help bring the arts to our community. And in this role, I get to connect with people amazing like Gabriel, but then also I get to introduce the arts to people in a way that's fun and exciting, because the arts are thriving in our community.
Exactly. Now, let's start at the beginning. Dayton Live. What do you mean Dayton Live as opposed to Dayton Dead? I mean, tell us about the whole concept. It's very fascinating.
So Dayton Live is the largest performing arts organization in the greater Dayton area. Mm-hmm. We own and operate a number of venues in downtown Dayton, so the Schuster Center, the Victoria Theater, the Arts Garage, and the PNC Arts Annex. And in addition to being the home for the arts in the community, we also present a number of different arrays of activities. So the sort of tent pole of which is our Broadway series. So if you came to Hamilton or MJ or Six or any of the number of Broadway shows this year, that's us. We also present comedians and music, but perhaps even more importantly, we run all sorts of arts and community, arts education and community engagement programs. So we have the Dayton Live Creative Academy. We just sent 2 kids to the Jimmy Awards in New York to showcase their amazing talents, and all sorts of workshops and camps that take place over the summer. So any day of the year, Dayton Live is presenting something in our venues. Almost 400,000 people come through our venues every single year, but we're also the home to resident companies like the Dayton Performing Arts Alliance, DCDC, Dayton Dance Initiative, the Human Race Theatre, Muse Machine. So anytime you're doing the arts in Dayton or you're experiencing the arts in Dayton, we probably have some element involved in that. And we're really proud of our impact in the community.
Oh,
so that's
I know.
who Dayton Live is.
I know. And you know, I've been to every single thing that you have just talked about as far as the Human Race, the Victoria, the Schuster, and the PNC, the Annex. What happens at the Annex? Because it's all, you never really hear. It's like they're in the corner of the Second and and Ludlow, and do they have performances there? I've been to events, but...
So there's all sorts of things that happen in the annex.
Okay.
The annex is a really flexible space. So if you go to the annex today,
Okay.
there's a summer camp for kids. Last week, I think it was a comedy camp. So it gives kids opportunity to engage in the performing arts. But other things happen there through the year. So we have the Dayton Live Creative Academy, which are after-school programs every week, and they usually put on a couple of performances a year. So last year we had Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. We had Heathers the musical. And so it's an opportunity for kids to work with professionals to hone their craft at a young age and work together from kids from all across the community. It's not one particular school. So that's happening almost every day during term time. But then we also have other opportunities. So we have what we call the Spotlight Series, where if you're an up-and-coming arts organization or a professional arts organization in our community, you can apply to be a Spotlight Series production, and we'll provide you with the venue and technical support, and they'll have performances across the year. So we had Magnolia Theatre in last year, and they did a performance of Julius Caesar, as well as What the Constitution Means to Me. So there's all sorts of things, both on a professional level that is happening in performing in that space, but also as a community engagement and arts education in that space. So it's a sort of incubator space.
Yeah. Fascinating. Well, if let's say a family is watching us, and I'm sure a lot of people are watching us, but what if they have a child that might be interested in something like this? How do they sign up?
Yeah.
Do they have to apply? Is there an interview process, or just whoever wants to come?
Well, that's a great question. So online, our website, DaytonLive.org, you can go and you can find all of the events that we're having through Dayton Live Creative Academy. We also have a great email list that you'll get all the information about when the on sales are. We also do pre-sales, so that you can sign up by DaytonLive.org/email. And then on our social media, which is Dayton Live 365 on Instagram and on Facebook, you'll stay up to date on all the amazing things that our Dayton Live Creative Academy is doing. We usually do an first come first serve application process, but if you are pre-sale, you can get in early because there is a high demand for being a part of these programs, because it is a professional high level experience. I mean, during for instance, during MJ, we had a summer camp for MJ, and we had a performer from the Broadway show teach the kids some of the dance moves that they're doing on
must have
stage.
made their day.
It did, because how often you get to work with a Broadway performer in this way and learn from them directly. And even more special, I think, is they perform at the end of the summer camp, and the person who played MJ, Jordan Marcus, came to that performance and surprised the kids, because they didn't know he was going to take time out of their day to come watch them perform as part of the musical. So it's just those special moments that we try to provide for any camper who comes to the summer camps, but then also when we have students come for the things we're doing after school, we want to give them the opportunity to learn and grow in the arts, but then also tell them that they are special, and there's so many great things they're doing by learning the craft of performing arts.
Well, what are the ages that usually these students are? First grade through senior, or?
So it differs depending on the summer camp, because
I'm sorry.
No.
Well, no, it's interesting because each summer camp is tailor made. So we have a 3 through 7, the Imaginators, that we call them the mini Imaginators. Then we have the 8 through 12, which is Imaginators. But then we have production camps as well, which those are geared more toward teenagers who have more experience in performing arts. And so those can start anywhere between 12 to 17 or 18 as well. But another thing that I don't think people know much about is our senior classes during the quote unquote school year, but that's geared toward folks who want to learn the arts or have fun in the arts, that are more the senior citizens of our community. And so that's a fun experience, because we're teaching them dance moves and theater songs, and that's something we offer during the fall and the spring. I don't think we have one in the summer though, but it's different classes for different age groups, but in the day, we're introducing as many people as possible to the arts.
Good. Oh my gosh, that's fascinating. I didn't realize that. And say again how families can get in touch.
Yes, so they can go online to DaytonLive.org.
DaytonLive.org.
You can look for Dayton Live Creative Academy in the search bar, but you can also, we have a calendar that shows all the activities happening, and you can find, like, if you're looking for a certain month or day of the week, that has all of our classes. And as well as sign up for our email list, because we send emails regularly telling everyone about what events are happening, as well as how they can sign up for the pre-sales or the on-sales for the classes.
Isn't that fascinating? I had no clue.
And I will say it's really important to do that, because I think our summer camp programs, and I'm going to get this wrong, but our summer camp programs actually sold out in like 40 minutes this year.
I can imagine.
And so if you're not on the email list, you're not going to get the on-sale dates. And don't be that person who didn't get Taylor Swift tickets.
Don't even get started on this. We're going to have a riot in the studio here.
Yes. You want to be first and got to sign up for that email.
Okay, now what is this with Taylor Swift?
Oh, no. We're not. Just last year when the Eras tour, those tickets on the entire Eras tour sold out instantly.
I know they did. They did.
I wish she was coming to Dayton Live, but she's not. I don't want to lead people astray. I was just implying that our summer camps are just as popular as Taylor Swift.
Don't scare everybody. Don't scare everybody.
Yes.
But is she doing kind of like a Michael Jackson? Someone performs with her.
Oh,
I mean, not perform. You know what I mean? They sing the songs that she's popular with. Have I heard that or seen that somewhere?
Not yet. I'm sure it will come at some point.
I'm sure.
You know, lots of artists do that. You know, Dolly Parton this year is launching a new Broadway show. It's going to start in Nashville and hopefully go to Broadway this year. Maybe eventually come to Dayton Live. So lots of artists do that, but Taylor has not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she's pretty young too.
She's young. Yeah.
She's very young. Yeah.
It might be the era of Broadway for Taylor. She was in Cats.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
So I know she likes musicals probably. Yeah. So
we need to talk to her then.
Yeah.
What she needs to do. We've got a future for her.
Right.
If she needs a second career.
I can imagine. Yeah, I think she's pretty busy. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about some of the performances at Schuster, because I know it's always first class, first rate. Which ones usually, and I don't know how to say this nicely, which ones usually sort of like outperform? Is it more classical? Is it more comedy? Is it more drama? Or is it just, who knows? It just could be anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Our Broadway series is always really, really popular. So we've just finished our last show for the year, which was MJ the Musical, based on the life of Michael Jackson.
Right.
And it did extraordinarily well. We've had a great year. I mean, we started the year with Hamilton. 6, as many of your viewers will know, is the story of the wives of Henry VIII, and that actually sold the largest amount of tickets for any week of Broadway that we have ever had. And so our Broadway shows do very, very well. Looking to the season in the future, we have a huge range of shows for all different types of audiences. We start the season with The Sound of Music, which is that classic Broadway production that everyone knows and loves, but we're also introducing some really exciting new shows to the audiences here as well. We have Beetlejuice the Musical, which became a sort of sleeper hit when it was first on Broadway a couple of years ago, and it's become a cult classic, obviously based on the movie. It's absolutely hilarious. I take undue ownership over it because it's written by an Australian, Eddie Perfect,
of course,
who is
perfect.
I have actually no ownership over, but a compadre in spirit and nationality. But it's so popular, it's actually going back to Broadway this year. So it's coming to us direct from Broadway this year.
Oh my gosh.
But then we have, for those people who loved Hamilton and Six, we have the baby of Hamilton and Six, which is a show called Suffs, which tells the story of the suffragette movement, and that won a number of Tony Awards, not in the Tony Awards that just happened a couple of weeks ago, but the year before. And it's an incredible story about how women got the right to vote. Yeah. And like Hamilton, it tells that story through contemporary music, and it will really uplift and inspire a whole new generation of people. So all sorts of things. But Broadway is sort of the number one.
Kind of
and then depends, we have a lot of comedians. Josh Johnson is coming in a couple of weeks, and he's basically sold out 2 shows at the Schuster. So we're really Victoria, sorry. Yeah. So we're really excited about that. And
what's the seating for Schuster? How many can?
2,300.
2,300. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. And what about Victoria?
just over. It depends on the nature of the show, so we
Okay.
don't always sell the balcony, but essentially 1,100 is
Okay,
is
okay.
if you sell everything.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, because I've been to, and then of course the human race. I love the human race too, and
Yeah.
it's like you're breathing with the actors and actresses. You know, you're right there.
It's such an intimate experience
Yes,
being in the
yes.
Loft Theatre. I love a thrust stage, which is what we call it in the business. And to your point, you feel like you're part of the
Yes.
action, and the
And you're always close. You can see them so well.
there is no bad seat.
No bad seats.
in the Loft Theatre, and it gives such an intimacy to the way that they program their series,
Yes.
and showcasing new writing. That's a huge part of their mission at the
Oh, I
Human
know.
Race.
And they have to perform, and it's a small, I mean, it's not exactly this big, wide, huge stage.
Yeah, and they still do. They do musicals there as well. You know, when they
Yes.
had Camelot, and it feels it's a great experience.
I know. Now, I have to say that, okay, so you come from basically Australia, New Jersey, other cities. Now, when you came to Dayton, what did you think? I mean, did you think, oh, this is nicer than I thought? Or like, oh, I need to see a little bit more of it?
Well, starting at the very beginning, when the opportunity to come to Dayton Live came across my desk, to be honest, I was like, it wasn't on the bingo card. I've said this before. And, but then I sort of looked into it and I was like, wow, the greater Dayton area is around just under 1 million, but 400,000 people are coming through Dayton Live every year. That's an incredible percentage. So there is some sort of alchemy happening here. So like immediately as an arts leader, you want to row with the tide. And I was like, ooh, I want to find out more. And so I came out, and obviously we have such incredible venues, and that was astonishing and beautiful, and really, I don't
And they're
mean
all
this.
different. All the venues
They're
are
very
different.
They're
you know.
all different, and I
Yeah.
don't want to say this in a sort of disparaging way, but like they punch above the weight for the size of the community, and that's a testament to the people here. And so once I came here and I moved here, it's such an amazing place to live. I have friends from back in New York and New Jersey who are like, how are you going? You can blink twice if you need to. And I'm like, you don't understand.
I know. People say
it's
Dayton,
such
Ohio, what the
an
heck?
easy place to live. And, I have the blessing in my job. I go back to Broadway. I'm now a Tony voter. And so I see a lot of the shows going on. It takes me an hour and a half to get to New York from here. The travel opportunities, what the region offers, it's really wonderful. If you like to be outdoors, there's the hiking. I've fallen in love with a lot of the restaurants here. This is my shout out to my friends at Salt Block. I'm there every Saturday morning. If you have a problem with Dayton Live, you can usually find me at 10
Okay,
o'clock
we'll
in the morning
remember
at
that.
Salt
We'll
Block.
remember
Don't
that.
tell anyone. And the Oakwood Club, places like that. I found it's such a great community, and the people are so lovely here, and everyone wants to work together to better the community here, and that's something that
Absolutely.
isn't places
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
around the world.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing about this community, and that is, we don't brag about ourselves much at all.
And we
people
really
don't,
need to do
and
more
we
of
should
that.
do exactly. I've heard this time and again from people that have been here for a long time. I say I'm from Dayton, and if I'm traveling to California, go, Dayton, where's that? We don't shout from the top of the roof saying we're great. Come and visit.
And yet, when I announced that I was coming here, I found that everyone had a Dayton connection and a Dayton
really?
story.
That's good.
My former board chair said, oh wait, I've been to your venues. I went to a wedding there last summer, for instance. And so there is this sort of connection, and I think that goes to the entrepreneurial spirit that comes out of here. Obviously the base connects with a lot of businesses. But
that's why we have a lot of retired officers at Right Path that stay.
Yeah.
They say, are you kidding me? This is a great community.
it's great cost
So,
of living.
yeah.
We through everything we're doing, we're bringing the arts here. There's a great
Yeah.
rich cultural life. DAI, the Dayton Art Institute, is an
absolutely.
incredible museum. There's so much to do
I know.
around here,
I
and
know.
people that we should be celebrating more.
Exactly. And the Boone Shop. You have
Oh,
to
yeah.
remember the Boone Shop. And I just took a tour, an updated tour of
Did
the
you get
Packard Museum.
Oh,
Oh wow.
If you haven't been there, you've got to go there. If you like any kind of old antique cars, you got to see it.
I haven't. I'll put it on the list.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
going to say,
do.
and the
You'll love it.
sloths at the Boonshaft.
Oh,
Can we take
yeah.
a moment for
Yes.
sloth cuddles?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
That's another
that's a
treasure.
great opportunity.
I know. There's
you don't get
so
that
much
everywhere.
to do. I know, exactly. And it's jammed on the weekends with people bringing their kids to touch and feel different things. It's wonderful for the families. So I couldn't be more pleased. Well, now get back to the Dayton Live.
Yes.
Tell me some more stories. Tell the viewers here some more wonderful stories and what's going on and anything new coming up that we need to know that you can sort of
Why don't you
announce
take
it
that
here.
first, and then I'll chime in.
Okay.
If you, I mean, I'm happy to, but yeah.
Well, I think something that people don't always know about Dayton Live is all the great series we have besides Broadway, because we know Broadway is amazing and incredible, but we have some really fun series that are coming up. We have a series called Perspective Speaker Series, and it's where we have renowned Nat Geo folks come in. So we have a photographer coming in who is a climbing legend named Corey Richards. He's fantastic. He's also a mental health advocate. We also have Albert Lynn, who's an explorer, who's basically is able to explore all these different crazy locations, and he's doing it with a smile, and it's fun because he also is connected to Nat Geo, so he has a show that's focused on exploration. And then we have Amy Vitale, who is a renowned photographer as well, and she takes photos of wildlife and humans in their connection. So there's this fantastic photo she has where there's a person laying on top of a camel, and it's like you see this camel and its length, but then you see the person and you just see that interconnection between the person and the camel. So she really helps people understand that animals and humans can work together, and that we need to all respect each other. So our Respective Speaker Series is a fantastic opportunity to learn about nature, learn about people's lives in a different way and capacity, and it, like I said, it's connected to Nat Geo, so it has some weight to it, and it also has some really great speakers. We also have the Children's Theater Series, which is a fantastic opportunity to introduce young ones to the theater. We have 4 shows each year, and essentially what the goal of the program is to introduce kids to theater in a not so scary way, because it's usually just an hour of a show, and we do pre-show activities so they can do arts and crafts, and then they get to watch the show. Sometimes there's music, sometimes there's dogs, sometimes there's puppets, sometimes there's fun stories. So we really want to start kids young, understanding the value of the arts and expression. And like I said, it's usually just an hour of a show, and you get to see a great performance for a pretty good cost. And another series that we have is our music series, and so that is usually classic rock albums. And if you're a big fan of like artists that Rolling Stones, I think we had Led Zeppelin, Queen, those kind of artists, then this series would be for you because of all the amazing
and they
music.
have this at the Schuster.
Or the Victoria.
So the Children's Theater Series at Victoria, so is our music series at Victoria. The Perspectives is also at the Victoria. But we do have some shows coming to the Schuster that I think is pretty cool. If you're a big fan of Avatar,
The Last
Airbender, it's Avatar in concert. So that is an experience that is really unique, because what it is, you get to watch clips of this beloved cartoon show while listening to the soundtrack live. So they have the drums and the singing, and it's like an immersive experience because you're hearing the music live while seeing the show that you grew up loving. So that's a fun time.
If you're in a slightly different generation and you grew up loving a different type of show, we also have John Cleese, the British comedian, is coming to do a comedy set with us, and he's amazing. If you know what the Ministry of Funny Walks is, then you should have already bought your ticket. But if you haven't bought your ticket, you can come to that as well.
Exactly. Isn't this wonderful? All different sorts of things and all the venues that we have. It isn't like just one building, one place.
Oh, no.
But it's all within walking distance, right downtown.
And speaking of the venues, away from the main stage, we are currently undergoing a sort of extended project revitalizing our venues as well. Because like if you have a house And the Schuster Center is almost 25 years old. If you've had a house that's 25 years old, you need a bit of a new roof, and you probably need to do some new paint work.
Yeah.
So as glamorous, it never ends as a homeowner. If over the summer we're sort of doing some touch-ups on our venue, so if you come to the Winter Garden often, if you're coming through Starbucks and you enjoy Starbucks
right there,
you'll notice that we're going to be doing we're fixing up all the tile work to give it a fresh coat. Last summer we did new carpeting in the Schuster Center. You may not notice it as the public, but all our lighting has been changed in both the Schuster and the Victoria as well. And that's part of an ongoing capital campaign that we've been doing. We've been trying to raise around $20 million because that's what it costs to keep these venues serving our community at large. And we're just so grateful to all our donors and supporters who have made that possible. But this is a way for us to give back to the community long term, to make sure that it's not just us enjoying these shows now and our kids enjoying them now, but in 20, 40, 60 years time, these are still going to be pillars of our community, drawing people into downtown long term. And so we have all these fantastic things on stage coming up, but you know, it's not quite as sexy, but we have all these fantastic things happening off stage coming up as well.
Exactly, and that's the important thing, because nobody wants to walk in. It's like, oh, look at this. I mean, do they see how bad physically this looks? No. And
no one wants that.
And we should be very, very proud of it. I remember when it was being built, and I remember opening day, and they had people coming off the roof and going up the windows and everything and performing, and it was a very, very special day. Day. Now we only have a couple minutes left. I just want to highlight, and that is NATO.
Yes.
When they came, and it was very special that they came to the Schuster Center, and you were just yanked right into it.
Yes. I mean, so we were very honored, blessed, lucky, whatever the word is.
Yes.
We were asked to be one of the hosts of the NATO Parliamentary Assembly in May over the long weekend. And this was a really important moment for the city of Dayton.
No question about it.
It was the first time that America had hosted the NATO Parliamentary Assembly in more than 20 years. Yeah. And it was chosen that Dayton would be the host because it was in celebration of the anniversary of the Dayton Peace Accords. And it was a really special moment, just from our involvement. So a lot of the meetings took place in our venues. And when I arrived, the plans had been underway for a while, but it was one of these moments where the community came together and so much collaboration happened across the city. And it was a really special thing to be part of. Obviously, if you come to the Schuster Center any day, it looks like a theater. And I don't know about you, but or you, when we went into the theater for the first time after being rearranged to host the NATO Parliamentary Assembly, I walked in and was like, wait, is this the UN? Because a bunch of the seats had been taken out. There were all these translation services and tables lined up, and all the flags were there.
The flags were really, whoa.
It was a really wow moment, and we hosted 7 heads of state in our buildings in Dayton, in downtown Dayton, numerous dignitaries. All sorts of things were going on. It was very, very special.
I attended a lot of the stuff,
And it was a really inspirational moment.
Once in a lifetime, and I'm so glad we were able to show ourselves off. And the only thing I said was I wish that we had a little more sun and a little bit better weather, but that's okay. That's okay. Everybody that I spoke to, the dignitaries and their staff and everything, couldn't have been more pleased with everything that was going on here.
And again, a real testament to the community coming together, showcasing Dayton to the world in such an incredible way.
Yes.
It was very, very special.
And knock on wood, there were no serious problems. So that's the main thing. My gosh, we showed how great we are. Exactly. Well, guess what? Time's out. Wow. So I have to thank you both so much for coming and talking all about Dayton Live. Now people know all about it.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us today. And again, this is Judy Dodge, your host for Coffee with the Commissioners.